Welcome learners. This session is on public relations tools and techniques. In the previous session, we talked about the concepts of public relations and corporate communications. We saw how the two overlapped, and in this session, we are going to focus on the tools and techniques of public relations and corporate communications. So in this session, we are going to cover the tools of public relations, both internal as well as external. We're going to discuss press release, media kit, blogs, media tours, special events, exhibitions, advertorials, new media, publicity, media relations, newsletters, emails, notice boards, e-zines, which are the e-magazines, and staff meetings. So all these various tools and techniques of communication, professional communication, are being discussed in this session, and we will look at how profitable communication is produced from them, such that it is able to create the desired behavioral change. So in brief, what these tools stand for, what all do they include, and what is the scope that they present to any marketer. The first is press release. Press release, you would all have come across a press release. It is the oldest and most effective kind of tool which is used by public relations personals or corporate communicators, and it is considered the most trustworthy and meaningful as compared to paid advertisements. So in a newspaper, you see an ad, a half a page ad or a full page ad, which is shouting about how this product is the best product in the market or in its competition category. As compared to that, there is a press release which says that such and such organization has invested so much in maybe an orphanage or an old age home, and this is what they intend to do with the older population of the city. So which news do you think will hold greater value, will be more meaningful? Obviously the press release. So this is the way press release can impress upon media and through the media amongst the target group about what its actions are. Now when I say press release or news release, it is basically written like a news. It has a headline, it has an embargo, and it announces the news in the way a news piece is written. So this is a press release or news release. The second is media kit, also called press kit. Whenever you hold an event or a press conference, a press kit is always prepared. A press conference is held whenever you have something very important to tell to the media, and you think that the media must cover it and present it to the society at large because this has some repercussions or some benefits or some social goods involved in it. So this is also called media kit or press kit, and this has basically promotional material in it. This promotional material could be a CD or a pen drive which has an audio visual material showing you about the product, something about a product, or a documentary kind of a thing talking about how a company has been built from the times of whenever it was built till today, and how it has been able to have certain kind of understandings with legal understandings with organizations abroad, and how this is going to add to the GDP of the country. What is the latest in thing, what is it that it is doing for, say for example, L&T, something which is into building of infrastructure, building of bridges and roads and something like that. So what is it doing to connect the villages to the cities? Or what is it doing for smart cities? Those are the examples of the kind of material, promotional material you put into the media kit. So ideally it is not shouting from the rooftop about your own product or about your own company. It is about all that kind of information which the media will find important to be taken to the general reader. So that is how a media kit must be designed. It also of course contains product catalogs, it contains brochures, it also a number of such things, a compilation which will contain all the promotional material including the latest information in the form of a press release. It all goes into the press kit, and this is given to the media so that they can make news out of it. Then the third thing is blog. Blogs have come up now for the past few years, and professional bloggers have been put in place so that, say for example, technology bloggers. So whenever there is a new phone which is being launched, they will talk about the features, they will talk about the usage, they will virtually show you how they have found this phone and how it compares to the others in the category. So how is this newly launched Samsung phone better than other Android phones in the category, or how is this Apple iPhone better than the ones that have been launched in the past. So ideally the blogging part has become important these days, because a lot of people like to make their opinion based on what they read about technology, about anything for that matter. And so product blogging has become really important. And it also has a conversational tone. It makes use of audio and audio visuals both. And it has a very conversational and friendly tone, so that the people across who are reading it are able to get what it means in the best possible manner. So that is about blogging. Then there are media tours. Whenever you have something to showcase, whenever there is something to portray, say for example, somebody in the hotel industry, they have come up with a new hotel or a chain of hotels. So they would like to organize a media tour so that people, the journalists who specialize in that kind of a beat, would come, visit, experience, and based on their own experiences of this hotel, they would like to write a review about it in their papers or in their media. So media tours are basically organized to showcase the success stories of an organization. And it is also used for newly launched products. Then there are special events. Special events could be special days or new launches. Say for example, one example could be Auto Expo. In the past, we've been seeing auto expos happening on a yearly basis, and all the new to be launched automobiles would be placed there, a model of them, and all the important features would be highlighted, be it the mileage, be it the engine, be it the design, or any other thing. How sturdy it has been, what are the safety features that are involved in it, everything will be on display. So this would be a special event. This is about new launches. Also there can be a special day, say for example the Foundation Day, whereby you will hold an event, you would invite the media and you would make certain announcements. You would also give them a graph of how a projection of the growth that you are expecting this company to take, and your annual growth reports, so on and so forth. So special events are also organized. Then there are certain speaking engagements which can be for public good. Say for example, a talk which is being organized by the doctors during the times of coronavirus. So here there can be speaking engagements that important hospitals could undertake. So doctors from their hospitals, or they could organize this event whereby their presence will be felt. It is important because only then will your audience be able to relate you with this kind of a cause. So whenever a health concern comes to me or medical checkups comes to me, a certain brand X of a hospital should come into my mind. Then there are advertorials. If you look at the word advertorials, advertising plus editorials combined together. So a number of times you would find pieces that are published in newspapers or even shown on televisions as a long commercial, whereby they would project say for example a health benefit or anything of the sort which has larger social good and connect it to the advertisement. Which is to say that if you are talking about sanitation and how sanitary habits should be developed amongst people who do not practice it, maybe tribals, maybe the rural belt, something like that. And then how do you say that your product can work best? How do you push this product as to show that this product will be able to meet the needs and create a need and get them into this mode of good sanitary habits in a better manner? So advertorials are important. So inside the news, an advertisement is hidden. This is also a way of propagating your news. Then there are exhibitions whereby you put whatever you have, whatever the products which have been newly launched or which are yet to be launched, or a new science that has been included in it, will all be put on display. So there are certain exhibits that are held. Then of course social media, which has taken over marketing in a big way, because it lets you bypass all the traditional media and reach the consumers directly. So when you're on your Facebook and suddenly an ad pops up, it is about what you were searching for the other day. Based on that big data, based on that collected analysis of data, they have projected a new advertisement to you, which is about a brand which is going to offer you a similar product but of a different brand. So ideally what it is doing, it is not letting media come into the way. It is directly reaching you, the consumer. And it also allows you to follow and be followed, because there are certain websites on which, or on Facebook you do follow and you are also followed. So this is what social media helps a brand in. Then it also drives web traffic and manages issue through quick responses. People like it if the turnaround time that a company takes when it is regarding its product or service is short. So it not only helps in driving forth traffic to your site or your app, it also helps you manage issues through quick responses. And then it can also help you handle negative perceptions, because whenever there is a consumer on social media, he would not or she would not refrain from writing about a negative experience, which can be quickly checked and responded to. And that is how you also handle negative perceptions. Then you also increase the exposure for the business when you're making use of a potent tool like the social media. The next way is publicity. When I say publicity, a number of innovative things are used as publicity material. But basically what it is doing is there are certain business features or articles. These business features or articles help you to create an image, just like I was talking about advertorials. Similarly, these business features talk about your concern in particular, talk about the product or service that you're offering and how it is different from the others. What is the unique selling proposition? How does it make you look different in a light where there are so many products that the market is flooded with, and you can one up the competition. Also there are articles pertaining to it, say for example the use of certain kind of technology. Like, I will give you an example. These days we are seeing the ad of a water filter, which says that usually water filters, what they do is when they are filtering the water, a lot of water also gets wasted. So this advertisement about this new product says that we don't only have to filter our water and drink it without impurities, we also have to preserve water for the for sustainable development and for the future generations. So this water purifier that we are offering you will not waste any water while filtering water for you to drink. So ideally that is the the basic USP of this product, that it does not let you waste water while it is filtering the drinkable water. So there can be articles and there can be business features written on it, and how, okay, these business features and article also talk about how this company has grown in the past. So in the light of that, this new product which is being launched with a certain kind of conviction that it will be able to serve an already existing need of the audience in a better manner will obviously get accepted. So when you research the the growth patterns of a company, you see that a company that has been doing well in the past is expected to do well in future. So business articles and features are written pertaining to that. Then there are also certain service features which talk about how you can make use of this product or service and how it serves your needs better. Then there are also financial statements and background editorials. Financial statements and background editorials talk in general about, when I say editorial, editorial is opinion of a newspaper or the media company, the news channel, whatever it is. So financial and background editorials will largely indicate how a certain product or service has been doing in the market and what it is expected to do. The future projections is what it will talk about. Then of course, brochures and catalogs have been written separately in the PowerPoint. They are also a form of publicity material. A lot of times brochures and catalogs are used as publicity material in media kits, which I was just discussing, that you offer to media persons. But the nice part about brochures and catalogs is that they are, in today's times, they are able to drive web traffic. So through brochures or through catalogs, you're able to give a picture of what your product looks like or how it is better than the others. And at the same time, you're able to drive the web traffic, because a consumer who will come across something would like to verify this information and know the latest about this product. And so you would drive onto the web traffic. Then of course, media relations is another part of it, which talks about how you cultivate the media. It is important to cultivate the media because you are dealing with a segment of population which is having a direct impact on people. So whatever this journalist says on his or her media is what people will understand. They can project a company or a product or an idea positively or negatively. So it is very important that we cultivate a media, in a manner that it builds up a favorable image for us. So image building is largely done by media. So hence media relations becomes a very important part of this. The next I would talk about the internal communication tools, though communication tools these days, especially with the coming of social media, have become interchangeable. Yet when we talk about external and internal, the internal communication tools are those which you particularly make use of for communicating with your employees. It is important to keep the employees motivated so that they reap in greater benefits and they bring in more profits. So what are those various tools that you would want to make use of when you're talking to the people who are working for your company? One could be newsletters. Now newsletters reflect the business brand, how this brand is projected, what is the brand personality, and what valuable offer, what is that thing of value which it has to offer to the company. So the latest information on the products to be launched, everything is available through newsletters. And it is the basic way of keeping the people engaged and keeping them motivated and letting them know what's latest in the organization. The second, of course, is emails, which has become a synonym of letter writing these days, because it is only through technology that we communicate, keep records, everything. So emails is one important internal communication tool. And then we talk about notice boards. There are e-notice boards which come up with announcements of what's going to happen next, because there can be big organizations, say for example IGNOU, which has so many regional centers across the country and study centers that are attached to every regional centers. So in such kind of a situation, it is important that the information which has to reach everyone should reach on time, and everybody should be able to get that information. So such kind of notice boards are made use of either in forms of e-zines or e-letters, or you just make announcements. These days announcements, we all know, is also made on Facebook. Then we have e-zines. E-zines are like house journals. Earlier we used to have the printed form of the house journal, which used to be a magazine sort of a thing, which was circulated on a quarterly basis in a company or on a monthly basis, highlighting various achievements, highlighting various activities, various projects that a company has and how it has benefited the society, highlighting the corporate social responsibility, etc. Today we have we have made it into e-zine, so we have electronic magazines for that. And of course staff meetings are one. Even in these times of new coronavirus, you would see that everyone, the education sector, the politics, every aspect, every field of the society is making use of technology, but the meeting part keeps going on. So ideally, meetings keep you in line with the vision of what you are out to achieve. It does not divert the meaning of what you may understand if it becomes an indirect communication, and at the same time it keeps you motivated. So that is it. The last bit of this session would deal with some tips for effective communication. When I say effective communication here, I am not talking about individualistic communication. I am talking more in terms of how a company communicates with its various stakeholders, be it the media, be it customers, be it investors, the distribution supply chain, everything. So we are talking of effective communication from point of view of corporate communications. The first thing is keep the organizational values and goals in mind. Every company, every organization has certain values, certain company mission and vision, which it must follow, and it aims at reaching them. So how do you keep those organizational values and goals in mind through professionally communicating and persuading the audience is an important component of effectively communicating. Use favorable tools. Now, wherever you can make use of, say for example, what an email can do, you do not really need to invest into organizing an event for that. So you have to make use of tools in a very favorable and well thought manner. There is a plethora of tools that are available for us today. We need to customize, and we do not have to waste our resources. Then you frame the message according to the target audience. A good professional communicator is one who keeps in mind the various aspects of the target audience. This can be demographic aspects, this can be psychological aspects. So psychographic and demographic aspects can differ from one target segment to the other. Say for example, if I am talking to the rural belt of the audience, they would be starkly opposed to what I would like to talk to the youngsters of a college in, say for example, a metropolitan like Delhi. So you have to frame your message such that it suits the needs and the target audience connects with the message. Then you have to keep all stakeholders in loop. Nobody should feel left out. So anybody who's directly or indirectly affected with the activities, with the progress that your company is making, you must keep those stakeholders in loop. There has to be a differentiation between personal and professional. A number of times it so happens that since all of us are human beings, this error of mixing the personal and professional does happen. So one has to take care of this, and one must document every step of the communication process. It is important because whenever we are making midterm corrections, whenever we are evaluating a communication project, it is important to know various things about the communication project, right from the objectives that it was set out to meet, to the budget that has been spent, to the kind of activities and the duration for those activities that were planned, how it was implemented, whether there was any glitch that you met, how did you correct those glitch. Everything is important. Hence it is important to document all the steps of the communication process. With this, I end my session here, and I hope you found this session useful. Think creative, think PR, till we meet again. Thank you.